Hi, I'm Creston Davis, and I have the great pleasure of teaching a seminar course in the GCAS e-school called Thinking, a Dangerous Act. I'll be co-teaching that course with renowned philosophers and theorists from New York City, from Austin, Texas, from North Carolina, Raleigh, and also from Sydney, Australia. I'm actually here on the GCAS farm, and I'll show you a bit. You can see that the field has yet to be planted, but it's ready. And the grass and the trees have yet to spring forth with spring, although there are a lot of flowers that are emerging like crocuses and daffodils. I often come to this spot to think after I've read a book, been disturbed by an argument, trying to figure it out, after I've written maybe, and I just come here to look around, to be quiet, because it's very quiet here on the farm near Bordeaux in France. Actually, it's near Puryear, but in the Bordeaux area. And just to come and relax and think. And it's a really important spot for me to do that. I'd like to tell you about the seminar in hopes that you might be interested in participating. The seminar itself is not a course on logic. That is, reasoning from one proposition to another in a way that's justifiable. We're not considering a history of philosophy, like looking at paradigms of thinkers and ideas. Rather, the seminar wants to penetrate into the very conditions of thinking. So not just descriptively what thinking is, but also how it is. Asking questions like, what are the conditions that have to be in place as a venue in which thinking takes hold? And the idea here, and which is why the question mark is part of the title, is it a dangerous act? And my position is that when thinking is done well, it is dangerous, and it's dangerous to the status quo. It's dangerous to recalcitrant institutions of power. It's challenging to positions of power that maintain and reproduce the conditions of everyday life. And in that sense, thinking is a kind of perversion. It upsets or unsettles the conditions of the world. And one of the great things about this seminar, at least for me, and I hope maybe for you, is that the seminar itself is a kind of culmination of three things. First, the school GCAS itself. GCAS is an acronym for the Global Center for Advanced Studies, and GCAS College is our college. And after co-founding that GCAS about almost 6 years ago now, coming up on 6 years, with over 100 different philosophers and theorists in the world, I've been able to participate in over 500, actually almost 600 lectures in 5 years. Lectures having to do with all kinds of topics and titles. And processing that material, along with reading, and also the challenges of organizing. So the second thing is the organizing itself. So the first one would be GCAS. The second is the organizing of what it means to create the conditions within which thinking takes place in a fashion that challenges the status quo, challenges the sort of, as Louis Althusser would say, the reproduction of the conditions of our world through the ISA, the ideological state apparatus, and so on. And there's a lot of lessons in trying to create a venue within which thought happens. The question itself is raised, can a venue be created as such? But that we'll get into that. And then the third part of what this culminates is that I've co-written a book with Alain Badiou. A long time ago, when I was in grad school, I started it with him. And this course, I'll be sharing some parts of the manuscript with the participants in this course. And we're going to be working through it. It's not a narcissistic endeavor. In fact, the whole idea is to open up your own ways of thinking that interact and synergize the collective thought of what the seminar is and the topic it's about. So for those three reasons, I hope that at least one of them might be of interest to you enough to participate as we think through what it means to think well, but also to think honestly, without getting too far afield or ethereal or in the hinterlands of solipsisms and so on, keeping it tight, but at the same time watching what happens when thinking itself is unleashed and materializing that process of unleashing a power that I hope we can discover together is far greater than maybe most take for granted. So for those reasons, I would like to just invite you to come and join us, to get to meet you, and to organize ways that we can think collectively with a kind of materialization of that thought process. So yeah, that's it. And I send you my best from the sunny day, spring day here in France. Okay, take care.